Hey there, all you farm loving fools. Here's today's project. Doing a little mini excavator maintenance. So, what I've done this winter, well, a lot of stuff, but on this, touched up the tips, digging points on the end of this bucket. These are only $20 a piece. Not terribly expensive, but for 10 minutes of time and a little bit of wire on the wire feed, excuse me, you can weld the tips up on it, hit it with a grinder real quick, and you can make these last 4 or 5 times longer than just swapping them out if you got the time. Again, it's all about trying to save money here on the farm. We don't earn money every day. So if we're not working, earning money, we're working trying to save money. So that's why I repair these instead of spending the $20. But today I want to show you an idea of what I'm doing and what you can do if you buy one of these mini excavators too. See, you can buy one of these minis, I don't know, 12, 15 grand for one of these mini excavators. Excuse my wood box there. This is an older model. You can tell by the square cab. The newer ones have a rounded cab. But you get one of these for, I don't know, I'd say 12, 15 grand, right? You get it home, you start checking it out, and it needs bushings here, 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 and here. Oh, yeah, and there. And maybe one somewhere else. You get the idea. You can spend maybe $2,500 just on bushings and pins for the arm. So if you're buying a $15,000 machine, you got to spend 3 grand fixing the bushings on the arms and pins, plus a lot of your time and effort. You might as well buy an $18,000 or $20,000 machine, such is life. If you can do this stuff, save yourself some money, buy the cheaper one. So what I have worked on now, I am going to buy the original bushing there. They're $100 a piece. Now I round everything up or down, $98 for one and $102 for the other. But I'm going to replace that one because it's a simple push the bushing out, push the new one in, done. I'm going to pay the 100 for that. On the end of the dipstick here at the bottom, this is where the bucket's at. It's where all your work happens. This is the most wear area on the machine. Generally, this bottom pin, the one that actually does the bucket work. All these, the rotators and all this stuff, they're all linked. So you're doing, half the work on this one, half the work on this one. So it means half the wear on each of those. But this bottom one gets 100% of the wear every time you move the bucket. And it'll get to floppy. You've probably seen them. And then it'll get floppy this way. And it's cumbersome to work with. And it's not good for the machine. Well, when I bought it, somebody had overwore. When I mean overwore is they wore past the bushing at the bottom, which means you'd need it line bored. Line boring is expensive. I think a single line bore, by the time they come to your location, set everything up, weld up their equipment, then they have to bore out the hole, weld the hole up, and rebore it out to the right size. Yeah, I know, I'm boring you with all that, but the point was between $600 and $800 for one hole. Pretty expensive. The second hole isn't much cheaper. If it's $800 for the first one, you're going to pay $600 for the second one. So, and that's pre-COVID prices. Let's not get into that. So what I'm going to do, and I won't bore you with, I've already paid somebody to replace that bushing. It's irrelevant. I'm going to do it myself this time. I have the time. Last time I paid somebody, and it was sloppy after I paid them. Not as sloppy. So let's get to the point, what you might find interesting with this bottom hole here. Now, I've been crouched down too long, so I'm going to have to make some noise to get up. 1-inch hole at the bottom. Metric, these holes measure out to about 15/16. Let me take over here. About 15/16, give or take. This isn't a precision thing. I mean, it kind of is, but not like machine work precision. At any rate, 15/16 is the measurement on this hole right here. Well, it's 1 inch now. Let's not get carried away on why that is. And it's a 15/16. It's metric, whatever that is, on a machine. Well, that's been replaced with 1 inch. And now it's getting sloppy again. So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it good where I can fix it again if it wears out another time. Cheaper and easier with this. This is just a farm pin. You can get it, I know, it doesn't matter, a farm store. Blaine's, Farm and Fleet, I don't know, Family Farm and Home, wherever you get them. They're 10, 12, 14 bucks for one of these. They're $100 in metric. And I don't even want metric because it's 15/16 and this is 1 inch. So I've already bored out the machine on that 1/16 of an inch, which is a 32nd on each side, in the machine. And then I come up here to the bucket, and I don't know why, but I didn't do anything to the bucket, and it fits. I mean, it's tight. It's really nice. That saved me some work. But what we have now is here is the pin that comes in the machine, and it has this piece of metal on the bottom, which I don't like how they did it. But what that does is, because the bucket is not a grease area, there's no grease zerks on the bucket. There's grease zerks on the bushings. So if you don't lock these in with something, they'll turn in the bucket. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that wear and tear on the bucket will wear the bucket out, and then we're going to figure out a way to fix that. Well, if you use this little tab deal that they put on these, you can hold that pin from rotating. And all you simply do is put a bolt through it. Now, I don't know how well you can see. I could zoom you in, but they put a really big hole in that so it can still move. That didn't make any sense at all. Well, before I owned it, I don't know what was in there before. Probably another bushing. They had a stack of washers in there just to keep it from wearing the bucket out. I don't like it. I'm not doing it to mine. So I got me another piece of metal. I don't know. It looks like 1/4 inch or better. And I'm going to weld that to the pin and drill a hole through that hole so that it doesn't rotate at all. And how we're going to accomplish that is we're not going to measure anything. I'm okay with measuring. I got one good eye and a tape measure. I can measure stuff. But it's easier just to grab your drill bits, because you're going to drill a hole through that piece of metal anyway. You're going to have them out. Why get a micrometer out? You can stick your drill in there and be like, well, that's too loose. You know, that's too loose. That's too big. Grab another one. Be like, well, there we go. That's the size we're looking for. I don't need to measure it. It actually is a metric hole, and these are not. What size is that, if you care? It looks like 15, 30 seconds. Not that it matters. We don't need to measure because we're using our head. All I'm going to do is take this from a metric hole to a SAE hole, which you see, it's just a tiny, tiny little bit. And we'll get a bolt that fits exactly in that hole, tighten it down, and we're not going to get any rotation. Meanwhile, we're going to take this drill bit. I don't think we need to pin yet. And we're going to go drill out our new holder that I've got prepared over in the vise. So let's go over there. By the way, just to kind of run through the numbers with you, don't worry about this other stuff. I work on old 67 to 72 pickups in my spare time. And I have a channel. If you want to go over there, you can too. It's called Darren 67 to 72. Yeah, I know, not super clever. I just put out videos. I don't care about all that cleverness. So we're going to take our drill now. And I'll show you this part when we get done. Well, I'm going to do a pilot first. I had it ready. I could have already drilled the pilot hole. You wouldn't have to stand here and watch me drill it. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm not using lube. I got some right there. These are old drill bits. I just sharpen myself anyway. I'm not too concerned with burning the tips out of them. They cut pretty good. That wasn't bad at all. All right, let me grab this one. Well, that's quite a bit lighter drill. And we'll go to our correct size. Hope it wasn't too loud for you. Oh yeah, this has got that safety thing on it. All right, anyway. So there's our next. We made a part. That's simple. I'll run you back over there where we're going to weld this onto our pin, and we're going to be all done saving this money. Yeah, I never did go through the expense of this. Let me tell you how much it cost. 1968 C10 in bright white. Shop tour. I do that on all my videos. So again, I told you this pin right here. I can't move right. This pin was, I don't know, 12 bucks, 14. I can't remember. Cheap. I think it was $10 because it's on sale, but let's not go there. The pin I showed you on the bottom here, I think he's like 103. Doesn't matter. We're not using that. It's not what we want. So $100 for the pin, $100 for the bushing. Oh, and if I put the bushing back in the machine, I got to buy a metric drill bit. I think they're $59. And it'll leave a triangle hole for you guys that are machinists or know what I'm talking about. All drill bits leave a triangle hole. You just don't usually realize it or care. I mean, they're pretty round when they're small, but the bigger you go, the more you'll get that triangulation. And when you go to a 15, 16 or a 1-inch hole, it's going to be triangle, believe me. So then you got to buy a reamer. They're like 100 and, I don't know, $30. I know you can get a cheap one for $89. Anyway, 100, 200, drill bit for 60, 260. Let's say 80 to 100 on that one. You're looking at 360. Let's call it $350, and I'm going to do it for 12. So this is the route I chose. I didn't get that bolt. Well, let's go get a bolt out of the bolt bin. You guys are here for the ride, right? A little chilly in the shop today. I'll run the heater a little bit. Besides, it's fun to see somebody else's bolt bin, isn't it? So I got all my bolts here labeled. Go down here, nuts and bolts. Let's see. That don't look big enough. Look at one more. Let's see what we got up here. Oh yeah, it's a nice size. That's a fine thread. But, you know, I try to keep every size there is in the world, but you can't have them all. And it doesn't look like I have the right size for that. Well, isn't that just dandy? We're going to take this one anyway. It's going to be way too long, but we can get it together enough to weld it. Then I'll stop the hardware and buy another bolt. No matter how many bolts you got in that fancy bolt bin, you don't have enough. At least I don't. All right, back over here to the project at hand. All right, so all we're going to do, this is just for sizing now. We're going to weld this here. And if I did everything right, which I usually don't, that should go right through there. It'd be nice to bolt that tight, but we don't need to. That's just silliness. It's not going anywhere, right? I don't know. I'm ad-libbing this. Here, I got the bolt they use. I probably can't get that one tight enough. You get the idea. We're going to weld that on there. It's going to bolt in nice. I could just put a pair of vice grips or something to hold that on the other side. I will do that real quick. We'll weld that on there while you guys are here. I'll put it back together. If I come across something else that is interesting or is a good money-saving technique like this, I'll bring you guys back. I'll put out another video. But I get a kick out of this kind of thing. I enjoy it because, I don't know, making money's fun. Saving money's more fun. Well, if I'm doing it out in my shop, not working for the man, you know what I mean? So there, we're all lined up nice. Put a quick weld on the outside. I'll take it back over to the bench, the welding bench. It's covered with everything except welding, which is normal. And I'll weld the ends real quick, the back side, and I'll grind the back flush. I'll leave my weld on the outside for extra strength. There's what we're after. You can see how my bolt fits nicely. And back to their pin that fits sloppily. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Don't care. Let's move on. If you guys want to hang around, just takes me a second to fire up the welder. There, it's on. I've got it preset at way too high. I was well done some other farm equipment. Let's go down to 440. Let's see how. But I didn't pull the trigger, so it doesn't count. I forgot to ground it. that'll get it where we can take it apart, take it over to the welder, or to the welding table. There is our pin with our tab on it. I cleaned up around the edges because, you know, we're human, civilized, like to have rounded edges on everything. So there's what we got. Get in there well good. With a little hot, as you can see at the end. It's going to work out great. Thanks for stopping by and checking the video out. I'll bring it back if there's anything else that's any fun to see. Oh, I have my microphone over here. I hope you could hear me. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, there's our tab. We'll weld it up. We'll round it off. We'll use a chamfer on the holes. Make it pretty. Then I might even put some paint on it. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Talk to you soon. Gotta go. Got grease on my hands.